So today I've had another video in mind about the coronavirus joke that these two losers tried getting caught on the internet for, and the pilot turned the plane around and these two losers got arrested. But I wanted to change how I wanted to make this video today, and it appears that Gamevice is striking again after Nintendo, after they've failed 3 years ago on the launch of the Nintendo Switch, and they're trying to take shots at them again for the Wikipad. And I wanted to go over 3 points how the Nintendo Switch and the Wikipad are similar and how they're not similar. So I wanted to make some points here because well, let me start off by saying the reason why Gamevice is taking another shot at Nintendo with this patent troll is to take them back to court so that they can get money out of Nintendo for the Wikipad. That they failed the first year, didn't have a big success on doing that. So, what makes them think that they're going to, succeed a second time in trying to get cash out of Nintendo? I don't see that actually happening. But let me go over 3 points that I wanted to talk about. One is the Wikipad has controllers, right, that are, attached with a tablet, but you can slide the tablet off of the controllers that you use to, grip the Wikipad for like a controller. So it's not like the Wii U, not that I'm talking about the Wikipad being compared to the Wii U, but the Wii U had the controllers on the side that were attached to well, it wasn't the Wii U itself, it was the controller. It was a controller gamepad of a Wii U, but the actual Wii U was a console. And you needed the controller to actually. You needed the gamepad controller to actually use the Wii U. And you could also, if somebody wanted to watch television while you were playing on the gamepad, then you had that option where you could, take your gameplay off the television and use the gamepad itself. Well, the mistake of you couldn't take the Wii U on travel with you and that stuff was resolved with the Nintendo Switch. And the Switch, compared to the Wikipad, is both a home and mobile console. Meaning, you could take it on the go with you. Or you could play it at home on the big screen. You could just have a good time with it. I mean, you could take it wherever you wanted. So if you really wanted to, first off, how it's not like the Wikipad is that you can't take the controllers and slide them into, like, a controller device for the Joy-Cons. Alright, if you really wanted to play on the television and that stuff, you could take the Joy-Cons out of the Nintendo Switch, or you could connect multiple controllers, which the Wikipad is not even capable of. So I don't see how Gamevice could actually try to win this case again of trying to get the Nintendo Switch out of the market. It's actually very stupid that they would try to go after Nintendo again when they've actually have failed since that time. And I wouldn't compare the Wikipad to the Nintendo Switch Lite, because the controller is attached right to the system. You couldn't take the Switch Lite is not even capable of being played on a television, because first off, the Switch Lite is meant for mobile only. But I'm going off the topic here. What I'm trying to say is there's no way that you can compare the Nintendo Switch being exactly like the Wikipad. There's no way to do that. And there's no way that Gamevice is going to be able to prove that this console is exactly something that Nintendo copied from us that was ours long ago and is no longer being continued to be sold. So I don't see how Gamevice would be still going after Nintendo for something that they don't even have in the office, or, I mean, in stock anymore. I don't see how that's even possible. So, there's no way that, from being how I discussed point number one, Nintendo didn't steal Gamevice's idea for, making a mobile console. The Nintendo Switch is no PS4. Alright, the Switch wasn't meant for just mobile only. That was a Switch Lite, but no. The first Nintendo Switch was meant for you could play at home or on the go. It has it has nothing completely identical to the Wikipad whatsoever. Two, I may have said this in the first point, but the Nintendo Switch can connect controllers. Now, even if you are on the go and that stuff, you could take your controllers with you, and you could, connect the Nintendo Switch to a controller while, on mobile. So that's something that you would not be able to do with the Wikipad. I mean, Gamevice is making a very stupid move to go after Nintendo, because because like Rich said, he does not see this lawsuit worthy. And I actually totally agree with Rich on that, because it's not lawsuit worthy. I mean, Nintendo didn't exactly steal Gamevice's idea. Alright, they probably got, in trouble with, damaging, companies like iLife that make the baby monitors for, so that people can actually, hear, like, when they're not in the exact room of, where the baby's sleeping, to actually hear what's going on in the room and that stuff. And they got in trouble because they put iLife technology into the Wii remotes. But no, I think Nintendo is pretty much safe for the idea of making the Nintendo Switch after the Wii U. There's nothing similar to the Wikipad. And the Wikipads can't have controllers connect to it, where other people could play on the Wikipad with controllers. That I don't think the Wikipad's capable of doing that. And I was going to make a third point. Uh, I forget what it was again. Uh, I need a second to think about what my third point was. Um, hmm. I can't even remember what my third point was going to be. Oh, I forgot what my third point was, but I'm just going to, you know, um, oh, is the Wikipad capable of, voice chatting while you're playing, games with people? Like, is it capable of doing that? Like, do you have, is there, like, an app on the phone? Well, actually, if you're really wanting to, you could download Discord to play games over the Wikipad, so. So, yeah, I guess that would be, like, the only flaw right there. Like, how that'd be similar to Nintendo Switch Online. So, that's not a really good one. I apologize. I didn't. I got into, I got so lost talking about my 2 points about how the Nintendo Switch and the Wikipad are not the same. They're similar, but they're not the same. Let's see, my 3 points were... I covered how the Nintendo Switch is both online and mobile console. And that is not what the Wikipad is capable of. The Wikipad is only mobile. You can connect extra controllers to the Nintendo Switch, which the Wikipad cannot do. Maybe there wasn't a third point I wanted to make. Maybe I was gonna try to make a third point, but then it just slipped off of me. Well, I'll try to make the point as best as I can. I had it on the top of my head, but I'll say something that might make sense. So, if the Wikipad is only capable of playing any kind of app or game that you can only play solo on, I don't think the Wikipad is something that's like a family console like the Nintendo Switch is supposed to be. I don't think you're gonna get much of, like sharing the Wikipad experience with your family. Because like I said in point 2, you can't connect extra controllers to it. I might be able to do local wireless, but no, you couldn't play on the same screen. Like if you wanted to play in local multiplayer on a Wikipad, I'm sure that you'd have to have someone else's Wikipad in the same place that you are in order to play local multiplayer. But regardless, on the same screen, that won't work. Nobody can connect extra controllers to the same Wikipad and play and share the experience. You'd have to do it from another Wikipad near you. And that covers my 3 points of how the Wikipad and the Nintendo Switch, they're similar, but they're not the same. And Gamevice's lawsuit against Nintendo of trying to explain how the Wikipad is the same to Nintendo Switch and, try to do their best to, say that Nintendo stole their idea and that stuff. Not exactly true. Nintendo's been creative with the Nintendo Switch. I don't see that Gamevice's lawsuit against Nintendo lawsuit worthy. They tried to go after Nintendo in 2017, back when the Nintendo Switch was just coming into markets, and they've tried to attack Nintendo before. This is not the first time that they tried striking at Nintendo and trying to file a lawsuit or a patent lawsuit against them for the Nintendo Switch. This is like their second time. They're taking a second shot at Nintendo, hoping that they would actually succeed in getting a big amount of cash out of them. But there is no chance that I see the Nintendo Switch actually going out of the market. At first, it was a big concern to me, but I'm sure a lot of people could actually, see that there was no way that the Wikipad was going to be completely the same as the Nintendo Switch, and that this whole thing was not lawsuit worthy, so there's no chance that's gonna happen. And the Gamevice can, take as many shots as they want to Nintendo. It's not gonna change anything. You want me to bring him over? And if they want to continue, trying to be, look like the victims of trying to attack Nintendo and that stuff, wow, blast that company. They're just being aggressive for money right there. And they'll keep taking shots at Nintendo because they want the most money out of Nintendo. And they want to look like the best company, then they want to look like a better company than Nintendo. And Gamevice, I have something that I need to say to at least all you viewers out there. Obviously, Gamevice wants to be greedy with Nintendo, and if they want to keep on taking shots at Nintendo after years and years and years and that stuff, and they want to flush their money down the toilet with all these court cases and that stuff, and filing lawsuits against Nintendo and that stuff, well then, they can be that way, but they'll find out that they're losing money if they keep filing these lawsuits. This is Charles Morris. Have a good day. I will see you all later.